Hello. Just wanted to send everyone some love and some calming, hopefully peaceful energy, if that's possible at the moment. But if you clicked on this, then you saw the title and you know that this is like what's like the hidden truth or what's the truth behind the situation type reading. I honestly think these are really interesting, regardless of like whatever the situation is. You know, it can be so many things. I have 4 piles here in front of me, so I figured we can tap into a couple of different energies and hopefully get some clarity for you of like things you're not seeing that are happening in your situation. So yeah, I'll hold up the stones for you. I'll put timestamps down below, and please remember, like, this is pretty general, so if it doesn't resonate for you, then it's just not your reading, and I'm sure you can find something else somewhere on YouTube or Twitter or wherever. So yeah, I'll hold up the stones. This is pile 1, this black tourmaline with green tourmaline and mica. It's so cool. Sorry, I'm burping. I always say I burp when I'm connected to like energy work and stuff like that, so just excuse it. I am trying to be polite about it. I don't know what else to say about it. Pile 2 is this beautiful moonstone. It's so pretty. It's really special. Weep. And then pile 3 is this amber. I wish I had like a light up behind it, but you can kind of tell in the window. And then pile 4 is this green tourmaline, which also hard to see, but also very beautiful. So yeah, I will put a picture for like a couple of seconds. You can pause the video and then we'll jump into the piles. So I'll see you in whatever reading you choose, or if you choose multiple readings. So yeah, bye. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the black tourmaline, this is your group. So let's see. I'm gonna first spray this like grounding and insight spray that I made. All over me and all over the space. Just kind of cleanse it a little bit. And then I'll wipe off my cards. So let's see. I am in front of my computer, so I'll be looking at the screen like I was in my other videos. I'm connected to your energy. Let's see. So I feel like with the black tourmaline, there's definitely this, and because this black tourmaline has green tourmaline in it, and with the mica too, even, I would say like there's kind of this reflection going on between the heart and the current situation, and there's like this grounding that's happening in like what your surrounding situation is. I feel as though there's a lot of like healing going on in the heart, and I feel as though it's like there's this grounding motion that it's like your root and your heart chakra are kind of working together, and through that you're having this reflective quality, like reflective time, reflective, just with the mica, I'm seeing a lot of like self-reflection, and I feel as though it's like the feeling I'm getting is when enough is enough. Like I just heard that phrase. Also, it could just be feeling really like out of place in something, or like unorganized in some way. I'm picking that up too. So maybe there's like this needing to be grounded in your relationships or your, like, and that can be any relationship, like in your family or in your work life or in your, you know, in your love life or, you know, anywhere. Seeing what else I can see. I'm seeing this like boardwalk, and it's like it just rained, and there's puddles on the ground, and it's really reflective. So again, that self-reflection like is kind of happening. But it's really like, it's a very pretty scene that I see. It's almost like dusk, and there's like a couple of people. It's almost like fall time, it seems. It's kind of gray. That's for somebody. Maybe it's like a memory or something that's going to happen. I don't know. I'm also seeing a swan. I keep seeing a swan. And I'm hearing, I don't know what song that is, but it's an AC/DC song. So if AC/DC is prevalent too, then okay, now I'm hearing Pour Some Sugar on Me. So AC/DC and Pour Some Sugar on Me, between those two. All right, let's pull some cards. I do have allergies. Even with everything going on right now, I do have allergies. So bear with me if I'm like sniffly or just, hopefully I won't sneeze. Yeah, just doing my best right now. So, okay. What is the truth behind the situation? I feel like I want to first see, I think, a little bit into the situation that you are in. So let me just pull a card for the situation so I can just get a grip on what's happening here. And then we'll look into like what's happening behind it, because I think that would help me. Because I'm feeling a lot of different things. So let's see. What's happening in this particular group situation? Yeah, you've pulled back. Like I mentioned with that black tourmaline, that moment of self-reflection, because you have that Four of Swords. So I feel as though you really have taken a moment to kind of like reassess or readjust, or like there could be a moment of silence. You could be dealing with another person, I'm getting that, and it's like you two are not talking at the moment. That could be the case. You could be taking a break because your job is closed right now, so you're staying home more often. That would definitely make sense with what's going on currently. So there could definitely just be this moment where you are like finding more time to lay low and kind of like self-reflect. The Four of Swords to me always talks of a moment where you are more passive, but you are also like allowing, like as you're more passive, you're kind of allowing this flow of information to kind of stream into you. And it's kind of like allowing the downloads to happen. And I can see that in this card. As you can see, like their crown, like around their third eye and their crown, it's very like lit up. So I feel as though as you, and even like it's kind of blending into their heart space too. So I feel as you lay there, or as you just like sit in this moment of like self-reflection and like this grounding of your heart and of your root, you really do find this you start seeing things in a new way that you haven't seen them before, and it's like the sunglasses are coming off, and it's like you're sitting inside and you go, why did I have my sunglasses on inside? I don't know if you've ever done that, where you're running around and you have sunglasses on, and then you go in the house and like you're just doing things, and then you're like, wait, hold on, I can't see. So it's that kind of energy. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. With the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom, I feel as though it's like the sun is peeking in from the outside, and you're starting to kind of see the light in a situation where you didn't see it before. The Four of Swords really talks about a new perspective coming in, and that new perspective really showing you that things are changing for the better, or you're very supported. The Wheel of Fortune is like the universe having your back, you know? So I feel as though as you sit and reflect and ground and also just see things through this new light, you're able to see the support that you have from every angle, you know? Okay, so what is the truth behind the situation that you're not seeing? I can feel like this group is pretty grounded. Like, I can feel it. My seat feels heavy. So I feel that there's this realness to the situation that you're in, where you're very aware of what's real and what's not. You've come into that. I feel as though there was a moment maybe where you were very like bouncing all around, kind of like a pinball. But now you've like mastered that and come back to home. And it's like, the feeling I'm getting is, I know things can be mystical, but I also know things can be very grounded in reality. And it's really nice. It's nice energy. So let's see, what aren't you seeing? That's the truth behind the situation. I like that. So I pulled the Two of Pentacles, but I feel as though like, let's see, the Wheel of Fortune's on the bottom of the deck again. So I'm feeling as though you're really being handed something, and it's like you don't see it, but pretty soon you're going to be very, like, you're going to be juggling all your blessings almost. It's like right now you have this moment of contemplation and rest, and like right now it's very quiet. You like, maybe you have a business and it's not like, it's just very quiet because of everything going on, or like people aren't buying your product, or work is slow because things are closed. But like as soon as things, it's like things are gonna kind of, it's like you're just gonna be thrown these opportunities, or things are just gonna like, you're gonna suddenly you go from the Four of Swords to this, so it's like you get really busy. And it's like, the way I'm seeing it is, you see these little angels. It's like they're handing you little gifts. So I feel as though this could also speak about feeling like you are unsure and lacking in direction, and unsure and lacking in like where to go with your heart space, or like how to make something come about. And this is like those opportunities falling into your lap and showing you how to do it. I feel as though like this is a lot of support, because like I said, that Wheel of Fortune's on the bottom of the deck again. And literally I can see the support in this card, where it's like you'll be busy, but you will be celebrating it. The Two of Pentacles to me it's like very similar to the Nine of Cups. It's a 2 instead of a 9, so it's like the beginning stages of a celebration, but it's still something so worth celebrating, because it's a card of busyness and success, and Like, how great is it to be so like busy that you have to kind of manage yourself, you know? I mean, some people might not see that as success, but if you are in flow and juggling smoothly, people are in awe of that. So I feel as though it's kind of like not necessarily juggling or dancing or struggling, but it's like this dance that you're doing with life where it's like anything that's thrown at you, you can handle. I feel like that's kind of the energy I'm picking up there. So really where you feel like right now you need to take the step back and reassess everything, know that when things start, it's like things are going to start, the wheel's going to turn, things are going to start like picking back up, and then when they do, you're going to be busy, but you're going to also be able to handle it. It's like this, I'm seeing this kind of as a cog, and I'm seeing it just moving really smoothly. So, how does this affect you? I feel like you might feel as though you're kind of teetering a little bit when all this happens, where also like maybe the fact is that maybe the truth is like going on behind the situation that you have a lot that you need to do, but you're also like not addressing it and you're kind of laying low. That could also be the thing here. And you feel like you're kind of balancing a lot, but you're like feeling like you can't move forward. I feel as though you're being handed a lot of things though, regardless. It's like there's a lot of little opportunities there for you to celebrate. So how does this affect you? I mean, I'm literally seeing like a dancer here. So that could also speak of going from laying down and being still and like kind of, I'm feeling like the weight of the world on my chest when I hold this card. And when I hold this card, it's like there's this movement and expression that comes through. So that's kind of how I'm feeling that. So that's for someone. You have this Ace of Cups. So yeah, you have this like beautiful opportunity that has a lot of potential to create a lot of emotional harmony and a lot of emotional fulfillment. The Ace of Cups, like to me, talks about a lot of creativity and a lot of love. It doesn't have to be like romantic love in your life, but it could also speak of just like this to me is the card of when you have the downtime and then you tap into a creative project and then that creative project ends up bringing you like tons of joy, or when you like accidentally stumble into something that like lights you up. It's just something that really fills you up and it's just lovely. I feel as though you'll be kind of handed the opportunity in order to create this like ripple effect I'm seeing. So maybe like as you celebrate and as you have this like joyous like moment of doing things and it's like as you dance around, you're creating this ripple effect for other people to dance with you. It's really nice. I feel as though also as you kind of like spread your love, it's being spread as well. So where that heart chakra came in, that grounded like heart chakra, I feel as though you're sharing that with others. Because right here you see like the heart chakra is really like, oh, the sun. It's really like closed off. I feel as though, and then this one's like very open. I feel as though that's also part of this too, where there's been some part of you that's been like closing yourself in some way. And now it's like time to kind of open up, share your gifts. There's an opportunity to do that. As you do that, you'll be busy though, but it'll have an effect in your life with the potential for something bigger. You know, with an ace, it's always the potential for bigger. Always. It's just the beginning seed, but a seed always has potential. With the Ace of Cups, to me, it's like how you continue to fill the cup. You know, it's always up to you. But again, I'm seeing that support. So I feel as though this is very divinely guided. And this could definitely speak of a relationship as well, where if you've been like maybe single for a while, closed off, you know, opening yourself up to the possibilities, weighing your options, putting yourself out there, having the opportunity for new love to come in. I see that. So why has this been hidden from you? The Nine of Wands. I feel as though with the Knight of Cups on the bottom. It's interesting. I like how both of these characters have very similar body language. I feel as though there's something here about building confidence, and also there could, because I saw the Devil as well, there could have been some sort of situation that you were involved in that caused you to enter this Four of Swords. Like I mentioned in the beginning, there could have been something that made you kind of reflect on what's going on in your surroundings. The Nine of Wands is like having to stand your ground, you know, setbacks, boundaries, obstacles that might be in your way. So there could have been some sort of situation that was a obstacle or was literally like hiding what was possible for you. And it was like you, like the way I'm seeing it is when you're so focused on your ex that you don't realize that like there's a whole new sea of fish available to you. That's kind of how I'm seeing this energy. And it could be the same for like a lot of different things too, where, you know, if you've been in the same job for a long time and you are unhappy in that job, but you don't understand that by pulling yourself back from it, like how unhappy, it's like you don't see it until you pull yourself back from it, like that sort of thing, how unhappy you are. And then you recognize that you can make the change in order to get a new job, putting yourself out there in that way. There's some sort of literal obstacle that blocked your view from seeing the possibility that was in front of you. That's how I'm seeing it. How do you deal with this new information moving forward? Judgment. Judgment with Three of Swords. The Three of Swords. So with the Three of Swords on the bottom, I feel as though there's like, and with Judgment coming out on top, and with the Queen of Swords there too, I feel as though there's this like acknowledging the heart space that needs to be healed, but then also recognizing like Judgment. How do I want to explain this? It's like allowing the surrender to happen and kind of being reborn from this. Because I'm seeing the whole like, there's like this kind of death and rebirth in these cards. So I feel as though there's some cycle here that's maybe not a cycle, but a situation that needed to close out, or some sort of like, maybe with the Devil card, a way of thinking, or a belief, a limiting belief, just some sort of way of thinking that needed to end in order for your heart space to heal. And moving forward with that, I'm seeing you utilizing that information in order to make the changes that are necessary. So literally taking the lesson that you've learned from this experience and doing something with it. Also, like, listening to your guide, like your guides, your internal wisdom, your intuition. Like I said, you're very guided in all these cards. You have like this support throughout every card, like literally every card there is, well, except for the 3 and 4 of Swords, every other card has this sort of like angelic support behind it. So I feel as though there's really this universal support in whatever it is you're moving through the situation for you. Buy yourself some flowers. Some of you need to buy yourself some flowers. It'll make you feel better. Also, like, if you're dealing with another person from this like 3 of Swords energy, disconnect from them. That's what I'm hearing. Disconnect from them. If it's an ex or something like that, like, who just keeps popping in and out of your life, that sort of energy with the 9 of Wands and the King of Cups. The King of Cups is someone who, they're not a king, right? They show up, they're kind of immature, they can't really commit sometimes. They can be very romantic, they can be very like charming, but it's like kind of wishy-washy. At least they can be. The Nine of Cups isn't always like that, but this is the energy I'm feeling here. So if there's someone, especially with the 9 of Wands, if there's someone who's been in and out of your life, I feel like the 3 of Swords talks about kind of disconnecting and starting new. Opening up that heart chakra so that you can create this Ace of Cups. There's something here for you that is new. You have the butterfly, so you have transformation. I'm also seeing turtles might be an animal for you, which is, I feel as though you were in a slow progressing situation before. And also, turtles are just very, very spiritual animals. And again, swan. I saw a swan. This is a pained swan. So I feel as though there's work being done there with the heart chakra. But I love the Queen of Cups here because her heart is wide open, and she's being very like, she's flowing with the emotions, and I get this feeling from the Judgment card too. So I hope this helps you in some way. I hope it resonates with you in some way. I hope there's a message for you here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose this beautiful moonstone, it is your reading. So with moonstone, I feel like there's some sort of new beginning here. This could be like a new business, just like some sort of new beginning in your life. Maybe like you've recently had some good luck in love, or you're about to. Maybe that's the thing that you're not seeing. Let me pull up my little list here. Yeah, I have my questions for my reading. Ah! Oh, there goes that. That's fine. Okay, so let me see. I did this kind of channeling for the first group, so let me see what I can get for the second group. I feel like a lot of you are intuitives with the moonstone. It might be that you don't see that you have psychic abilities, or you don't know how powerful you are. You can see that. I'm seeing lots of books, so you might like to read. Or it could be that like you're about to be reading a lot. Maybe you're a student, or maybe you're like, I'm hearing like student of life. So maybe it's like you find these topics that you really enjoy learning about, and like maybe you're really into crystals, or maybe you're into tarot cards, or maybe you're into like Reiki, or maybe you're into like literally anything. Maybe you're into bugs or plants, or like literally just, this could go on to a list into infinity, like any art thing or anything. It's like no matter what it is that you're interested in, once you get interested in it, you want to know all the information about it. I feel as though you went through quite a battle to get to where you are, or it's like you've been through a lot in your life and you have a lot of inner strength and growth. Like you've gone through a lot of growth, especially in the last 2 years. I feel like there's been a lot of growth. You're able to stabilize your emotions really well. You do have like really good like high emotional intelligence and regulation of your emotions. It's not that you shove them down or don't feel them. It's like you acknowledge them, and it's like how you react to them. It's very you have a regulation system. You also probably have a very sweet vibe to you, very calm vibe to you. I'm seeing like a little teddy bear. So I feel as though people really feel like you're very sweet and cuddly. You could also be very cute. I feel like people think like you're kind of harmless, but you also have this edge about you where like you do have that past, or you have been through a lot of things in your life. So it's like people think you're kind of like soft around the edges, but they don't know. It's kind of like that Queen of Swords vibe, where it's like, I heard someone describe the Queen of Swords in a beautiful way the other day, where it was like she has a silk glove with an iron fist. It's that energy. Let me spray this this clearing spray to kind of like just, I don't know, ground the reading a little bit, and pull some cards. I'm seeing an elephant, so elephants might be really significant for you. I feel as though with the elephant, it's speaking about memories, so you could be doing a lot of like shadow work, or it could just be like maybe again, with all that growth and things, it's like you're kind of maybe holding on a little bit to the memories a little bit. Let's see. So the first thing I'm going to see is what the situation exactly is, so I can get a pinpoint, and then we will look more into the like what you're not seeing, or like what the truth is behind the situation. Ooh, that really wants to come out. So I feel like this has to do with a new beginning. I'm getting the feeling that maybe recently like a fire sign came into your life. It's making you anxious because you have this Knight of Wands with the Nine of Swords on the bottom. I feel like this person is very forward, very friendly. They showed up out of nowhere. Or maybe it's like, if this person hasn't showed up for you yet. You can feel, because you are so intuitive, you can feel there is this presence approaching you, because I can, like, the way I'm seeing this card is there's like a figure approaching on the horizon, and it's like you can just feel it approaching you, and it's making you nervous because it feels like this is like a very like strong energy, even though it's a minor arcana card. It's like he has smoke coming out of his mouth, so it's like it's fast and hot and like I'm also getting, for some people, this could be a person who is like you're involved with sexually, and it's very in and out of your life. Like they show up when they want, like when they want what they want, you know. I'm also getting that, and that could be like, or it's like you had a very sexual encounter with somebody, very sexual. Are there? I mean, okay. It's someone that you had a sexual encounter with, and then like maybe they kind of ran off, and you're kind of anxious about where things are going. I feel like they are too. So it could be a couple of different things here. It could be someone approaching you from the distance. It could be someone who just came into your life who isn't necessarily like a one-night stand or anything like that, but someone who is just very friendly and forward and like, hey, how are you? Like, I want to talk to you. I want to see you. I want to make things happen. Or it's someone who is like more sexual and in and out and flaky, you know. So, okay, there's a couple of different things here. I feel like there's a group of, I feel like probably a lot of you chose this one. So let's see. I'm feeling like with the horse, someone here spooks easily. Also, someone has their attention, like their attention's on you. I feel like that might be part of the truth that you're not seeing. Let's see. So what's the truth behind this situation? Any of them. Or all of them. So I feel like regardless of, oh, okay. I'm going to say for a lot of you, I don't want to say for all of you because I don't think it's going to be for all of you, but for, well, I don't think, do I feel? I don't feel like it would be for all of you either. With the Knight of Wands, then you have this Ace of Swords being what, like, the truth of the situation is, what you're not seeing. So let's break it down situation by situation. And then the underlying energy is the Three of Pentacles. So what I'm feeling is, if this is a person who just like came in and is like suddenly communicating with you, what the truth, like the truth is like it's very, that is the truth. It's like they're being very honest, they're being very upfront with you. They're not being secretive or anything. It's like maybe you're just not used to people approaching you in this way, and that is your new beginning. It's like this is just it's that luck and love that I was talking about. Like, this is something that you've been waiting for, and here it is. It's there for you. I see this being like very shared communication, you know. With the Three of Pentacles, it's something that has the potential to really like build into the future. It's collaboration. It's working together to build a future. With the situation of it being someone who ran away from the ran away, like a one night stand type thing. I feel as though they will communicate, or you will communicate. Someone's going to communicate. There's going to be collaboration one way or the other. The way I see it with that, though, is like, it might still be in and out. So you have to really, when you communicate with them, it's important that you set boundaries and you state what it is that you want. But the Three of Cups is underneath the Three of Pentacles, so I feel as though for half, it's like it's possible to have this connection. For some of you, it's like, I feel as though maybe someone here is not necessarily being they're more just having fun right now. It's not like they're being dishonest or anything. I just think they're having fun. That's kind of, it's like that Knight of Wands is just, they're kind of a playboy sometimes, like, you know, or playgirl, like play person. They just like to have fun. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, if that's not what you're looking for and you want a more serious commitment with this person, that might not be what they're looking for. And it's just, that's something to acknowledge, you know? If this is a person who you know is approaching you on the horizon, they're coming, they're gonna show up. I feel as though when this person does show up, they're going, like, the energy I'm getting is like, you're not gonna question, is it this person? Is it that person? It's like, they're gonna just, hello, like, they're going to make it known that it is them. I kind of get I want to pull a clarifier for this, like, oncoming energy, because I feel as though it could be somebody that you know who is watching you, because that horse is really giving me, like, observational feelings. It's like there's just this observational type energy. So let me pull a clarifier about, like, what the truth is behind the person coming on the horizon. Four of Wands with the Nine of Wands. This person could be leaving, like, a marriage, or a they could be recently divorced. If not, they could have just gotten out of a long-term relationship that, like, little tumultuous, because you have the Five of Swords underneath. I feel as though they want to, like, make a serious commitment with you. They see you as a thing worth celebrating. Clarify. Getting. Ooh. I don't take ones that fall on the floor. It was the Ace of Cups in the world, though. I will say that. How do I want to word this? I'll just be direct. Yeah, I feel like they are observing you. Because they see you as the star. See you as the star and the Empress. When they see you, they recognize you. They have like instant recognition. Also, I feel like they might have a child or something like that. They might have family things going on. They could have a child though. I'm feeling like another energy with them. And I don't think it's like a partner. It could even be like just a close family member, you know. But there's some other energy there. Maybe it's like a sibling that they take care of. Okay, so let's see. Either way, they see you in a really high light. How does this affect you? So I'm gonna look into how, I guess the best way to do it is to pull a card for each situation. This is gonna be long though if I do that. So I think I'm gonna just try to pull a card that covers all, because otherwise we're gonna be here for too long. There's 4 piles. So yeah, let's do 1 card for all and just see if we can make it work. How does this affect you? The Ace of Cups. Wow, the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords is like, I always say this when they come out together, to me it's like a real true compatible, emotional and like clear love. It's just very it's like a real true love. So I feel like for a good part of you, except for the ones that I discussed, who this person was like in and out of your life and they just weren't looking for anything serious, but I'll talk to you in a second. This person in your life coming in or already there, there's someone it's like a very good potential for a long-term relationship. Something very emotionally satisfying. And if this is like someone who's in your life who, yeah, I feel like I already covered that. Never mind. But the thing is, like, if this person has been in and out of your life and like you want a more serious commitment and they don't want that, and say you voice what you want and they don't respect that, and you know, you're gonna do what's best for you with this Ace of Cups, and you're going to, and with the Ace of Swords too, you'll cut it off and you'll go create like what's best for you, and you'll find your justice. Like things will come around for you. I feel as though this whole situation, for whatever resonates for you, it will balance out in your favor at the end of the day. Yeah, it's coming around for you for sure. Why has this been hidden from you? Seven of Swords, literally like the card of hiding things to me. Like I said, there could have been another person in the picture of whoever this person is. Also with the Seven of Swords, I feel like it could talk a lot about like your own heart space not being ready, like you being quick to cut people off, or you being quick to like just walk away from things and not like have the full willingness to go into something. That could also be here too. The Knight of Wands could equally be you, you know? Like, you could be the person who's going forward and seeing someone and, yes, I want that. Like, that sort of energy. And maybe before, you know, I feel as though maybe if you were dealing with somebody who was in and out of your life, I feel like they might have been like lying to you about something. There's that too. They could have just been deceptive towards you, like in terms of what they wanted. Or maybe it's like they, 1 minute were very like attentive, 1 minute were gone. But I feel as though it's being hidden from you so that you kind of take your power back. Regardless of your gender, I feel like you're the person at the top of the stairs, like kicking this other person kind of out into the cold world right now. It's like you're like, get out of my face. I'm done with you. I'm done with this. And maybe this is also the person that you're dealing with, where they were dealing with a situation that was very similar. Or if you weren't dealing with that situation at all, they were dealing with the situation and they needed to be in their power and do this themselves. Or this happened to them, where the person they were with was doing something that, you know, they just ended things very quickly and suddenly, and it just wasn't able to come together anytime sooner. So a bit of like, you know, divine timing with the star there. So how do you deal with this new information going forward? Also, the Seven of Swords is just literally like someone was lying to you, or like if this person has been watching you, they wanted to very purposely hide themselves from you. It's not that they were being like sneaky or like maliciously deceptive. They just, like, it wasn't the time for them to show themselves to you. They weren't ready. So that's also something to keep in mind. Like, not every lie is done with malicious intent. Sometimes it's done with in order to protect, it's done with good intent even sometimes, you know? So just keep that in mind. If this person was like hiding from you and they didn't show themselves to you, and then suddenly they appear in your life and they're like, I feel this way about you and I want this to work out between us, and you're feeling kind of like, what? I feel as though it's really because like they couldn't show up before this. Like, they just couldn't. So how do you deal with this new information moving forward? I hope this is making sense. There's a lot of energy here. I feel like maybe a couple of you were dealing with a few different people or something like that. Bit of. Or like maybe you're just confused. I'm surprised like the Seven of Cups isn't here. How do you deal with this new information moving forward? The Wheel of Fortune. So yeah, divine timing is definitely at play if this is a person coming into your life. You just have to kind of trust and like know that you're gonna have a victory at the end of the day. I feel as though maybe they'll reach out on social media. Just a feeling like with the Ace of Swords. And on Seven of Swords, like they could have been watching you on social media. I feel that's kind of the feeling that I was getting anyway. Like, I'm seeing someone just like scrolling on Instagram or watching your Twitter, or like looking you up on Facebook or something like that, looking at your pictures. I do see them like messaging you or something like that though. Long message. Well, it'll be different for everyone, but I am seeing a long message. I feel as though it's like the Wheel of Fortune to me talks a lot about trust. And especially with this Ace of Cups here, it's like trust. Which I feel like has been hard for you. Especially with that Seven of Swords. But the Seven of Swords with the Ace of Swords, it's like the clarity after the veil. How do you deal with this new information? I feel as though it's like kind of releasing it because you have this 10 of Wands. So you are at the end of the cycle. Like there's something that you're holding on to. It's kind of like there's something you're holding on to. Let's see, what are you holding on to? You know what I'm actually getting? I feel like right now, there's no time in your life for this to come in. Like, this person really wants to get your attention, but they don't feel like you have enough time to speak to them. Like, you're so busy, and they're not going to approach you until they see that you're more laid back and relaxed and like not like right now they're seeing you just like totally in your like maybe you work a lot, maybe you have a lot going on, maybe you're with friends a lot, maybe like whatever you're doing, maybe you're at school and you have just a lot on your plate, like whatever it is you're doing, they just see you doing a lot and they're like, I can't bother her. But then, like, as soon as they see you, like, they're just gonna kind of go rushing towards you, and then the Page of Cups is underneath. So I feel as though it's like they're gonna rush towards you and be like, like, the Page of Cups is, like, kind of immature energy, but I feel like they might just be younger. If they're not younger, again, they could have a child. They could literally have a child. I feel like maybe that's also part of what's held them back. Like their own stuff they need to work through. I really do feel like when they see you more relaxed and laid back though, they're gonna be like, okay, now's my chance. I gotta go now while she's like got a moment. I'm sorry, I'm saying she, but that's just the energy I'm feeling. I'm really sorry. They. I feel like I'm tapped into one person very specifically. I apologize. So I hope that resonates for more than one person. Let's see, one more card to like end the reading. So yeah, you have this like tower moment. I feel as though with the tower, it's kind of like, and with the Two of Swords on the bottom of the deck, it's kind of choosing to put something down. That might be really hard for you, especially if you're like a workaholic or just like you're used to being busy or you enjoy doing what you do. I feel as though there's like something here that is needing to just kind of be like put down for a moment, you know, so that this can come in. It could be like if you're dealing with like someone who's really in and out of your life, putting that down. I could see that too. Yeah, making the decision. It could literally be a decision between two people. But yeah, so I hope this resonates for someone, more than one person. So yeah, have a good one. Thank you so much. Bye. See you next time. Hello, group 3. If you chose the amber, this is for you. Let's see. I was doing little channelings for the other ones, so let's see what I can get for you. A lot of wisdom, like a lot of wisdom through experience. I also feel like this group is pretty stressed. You might be drawn to the amber because you're feeling pretty stressed, or maybe like having some some more like darker days, like some depression. You can feel that too. Like there's kind of this heaviness that's over this group. But what I'm also feeling here is like underneath that heaviness, it's funny, like I'm seeing this like gray blanket, and then underneath is like this glow of like gold, and it's kind of like this creative energy that is peeking through this like this. So maybe you're feeling pretty like heavy with everything and like life, you know, work, the world, but then also you've got this like fire like starting to burn in your belly kind of thing. So let's see what I can see. Oh, the sun's on the bottom. So let's see what situation you're in right now to start off with. Also, since I did it for everyone else, but for you guys, I'm gonna use a heart chakra spray because I feel like this heaviness is kind of coming from, like I'm seeing this like gray cloud just swirling around someone's heart chakra. It's like a storm or just like smoke maybe. I'm also, it's like foggy. So let's just like clear it up. And I'm also going to, yeah, I'll put this green apophyllite here too, because I think that will help. It's my go-to stone for the heart chakra. Yeah, I already feel better. Let me see, what else do I see here? I'm seeing a Ferris wheel. So for somebody that's significant. I'm also seeing like a cat balloon. Yeah, a cat balloon. It's like a hot air balloon almost, but it's like a giant black cat. Maybe it's like a pillow. I don't know, I'm seeing it. It's like, I don't know how to explain what I'm seeing, but it's cute. It's cute. It's very cartoonish. What I'm getting is like maybe some of you draw cartoons, or maybe some of you are like really into drawing or animation or something like that. It's like, or illustration. There's like this, there's kind of this, like fun sketchy like imagery that I'm seeing. Very playful and funny. It's like watching a cartoon. And then you have the 10 of Cups. It's funny. I feel as though the 10 of Cups is really your like your energy. You have this very like sunny disposition, even though maybe that's like what the hidden truth is. Honestly, I feel as though like even though there is this layer of heaviness over this reading, like what you're not seeing is the fact that you're able to very much like, you know, Amber, kind of like bring out the light and everything, or you're able to see, like, it's kind of like a comedian, you know, comedians kind of pull the darkness and twist it and make it into something that's very relatable and funny. You could be doing something like that. Maybe like I said, maybe you're doing like little cartoons or something like that that just make you, or maybe you're like just doodling, or I don't know. I'm seeing creative work, and I'm seeing very much like cartoons, illustrations. That's for somebody. All right, so let's see. What is your situation? Yeah, the Three of Swords. That's funny. Group 2 also had these 2 cards for their situation. But they were switched. So the Three of Swords with the Four of Swords. So definitely have just gone through something very painful. Some sort of separation. Some sort of loss. Some sort of like you're dealing with some sort of perceived pain, right? This cloudiness that I was talking about, right? But I like how under here there's clarity. So it's like you're going through this cloudiness to get to clarity, and I feel as though you're getting there through taking a time out, taking a moment of rest. And then I like how here the 3 swords are taken out of the heart, and then it's like the Ace of Swords is resting there. And you'll notice that like this is very similar to the 5 of Pentacles. And the 5 of Pentacles can kind of be about restoring spiritual faith. So there's that as well, where again, not necessarily seeing that you are kind of like there's going to be a very beautiful light that comes through and shines on this being, you know. There's definitely a moment of rest that's being taken at this moment in time. Definitely a step back from the world, from life, from thinking. I'm seeing like the swords are always about what's going on in the mind. You could be thinking a lot about the pain that you've endured. You could have been in a state where you were doing that, and it's like now you're trying to take a step back and kind of just like release it, see it from a different perspective. So what's the truth behind the situation that you're not seeing? Ooh. You're definitely not seeing the full picture of what's happened. I'm seeing anxiety. This could have to do with how you present yourself to the world. I feel as though you have tried to put yourself out there, and you might not be seeing. Maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's like you're putting yourself out there, but you're really anxious about doing it. And it's like you don't feel like you can. It's like you're hiding it. You're presenting a mask. I feel like it's like a mask that's being presented to the world. Because you have this moon with the Page of Pentacles. I feel like there's something that you're trying to show. There's something that you're trying to, there's something that is wanting to be presented. I'm being shown this, like, this hand that's kind of doing this. Or like someone on a stage who's like showing themselves. But it's like, I'm also seeing someone walking up and like introducing themselves. But it's just this, with the moon card, it's interesting. There's this fear of having to speak louder than the person next to you. So it's like you are trying to get heard, but it's like, I feel as though you're not showing up as your authentic self because it's like you're so busy trying to be heard. And maybe that's like what you're not seeing, but you're like I mentioned in the beginning, you really are this light. Like, I can see it. I see this rainbow, and rainbows are, you know, what's the word? They're, oh my God, it's in my head and I can't say it, so they don't want me to say it. They're a product of light. So I feel as though, this is really about you kind of coming out of your shell a little bit and like acknowledging these parts of you that are seeking to be louder than the voices around you, maybe. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. It's like by being in your own vibration, you rise above like any other noise, but it's also like you're not rising above the noise. Everyone's rising together. It's not really, it's like everyone's harmonizing. It's not even because like the way I'm seeing it is, when I first looked at this, they were competing. But then like when you hear a bunch of wolves howling at the moon together, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sound. So it goes from this, I have to drown this other person out, to we can make this sound better together. And I feel like that's the opportunity that's being presented here. It's like maybe, you know, in whatever work community you're in, or whatever community you're in, like friendship, it could have to do with friendships, it could have to do with work, it could have to do with relationships, it could have to do with so many things, honestly. Maybe it's just like whatever group of people you're around, it's like you are feeling like you have to, it's very Five of Wands energy, where there's this energy of I have to compete for the sake of competing. But then like when you realize, oh, well, like if we work in together, we can actually accomplish something. And I feel like that's really what's being presented to you. It's being presented in different cards, but it's really beautiful energy. I feel as though with the moon card, it's like there's something about you not showing your true face, and there's something about when you do, there being a lot of like growth. So how does this affect you? The Two of Wands with the Knight of Wands on the bottom. So I feel like this really inspires you creatively. It also like brings you into this, like you go from this swords kind of like shadowy moon, even the Pentacles has like a bit of a shadowy like aspect to it, and then you go into this like fiery, warm, like lit up, ignited energy. So I feel as though it's like you start using your sacral chakra. I just felt it like kind of like start up. And it's like you kind of use that to drive you. I feel as though you're using your knowledge of your past and of your experiences to really bring forward this like new energy in anything that you're doing and in all your connections. It's like there's this kind of looking out at like the world, seeing how you want it to change, seeing how you want your own world to change, and recognizing that when you change your own world, like you morph the world around you too. There is this like bit of anxiety still. I feel like anxiety is like something that you deal with. Look up ACT therapy or ACT therapy. ACT. I think it's ACT. I studied too much of it to not know how to say it. ACT therapy. The Happiness Trap is a great book to read. But yeah, I feel like if you have anxiety, that's a great place to start. I also have really bad anxiety, and I've been doing it for a couple of years, and it's just been really helpful. So I recommend it to other people. So let's see. Why has this been hidden from you? Did I ask that question? Maybe I asked that question. I don't know. We're asking it again. I feel as though there needed to kind of be this moment of pause so that there could be this like beautiful new beginning for you. Something needed to... There's something here about things falling back, and like there's this real aggressive energy here where it's like, get out of my way. And I feel as though that needed to change, and it's like what comes out of it is this much more harmonious, like I said, like you see the multiple streams coming out of this. I feel as though it's this kind of love that extends into everything. I'm seeing somebody very specifically, like I'm seeing somebody drawing flowers. I feel like maybe this has to do with sharing your art as well. Like I mentioned in the beginning, like this could be someone who's very creative, very like artistic, especially with these wands here. And you're not sharing your art currently. I feel as though the world wants to see your art, and you're not seeing that. Like when you start sharing your art again, and sharing like, and not like the art you think you're supposed to make, the art that like you want to make, that like feels good for you, the art that like really feeds you, you know. There's something here about, I'm also seeing with the Ace of Cups and the Moon that maybe there's somebody that you want to work with. And maybe like with the Page of Pentacles, that you're not seeing that there's somebody who you could work in tandem with, and you two could build something together. I did see the Three of Pentacles while I was shuffling, so there could be like some sort of collaboration that's available to you as well. I do feel very creative, artistic vibes in this. I feel like someone's really like harnessing their energy. It's like they're creating something really authentic to themselves, and when they do that, it just generates this immense amount of change and joy in their life. And I feel like it's been hidden because something else was like needing to be cleared out. This Three of Swords, whatever ending was happening, there was some sort of change needing to happen, this moment for reflection, this moment for a changed perspective. And when that happened, it's like the opportunity needed to be seen. And I feel like maybe it hasn't been yet, but it's about to be. It's like being handed, or it's being dropped in. I feel like it's just going to start off as this tiny little seed, and then it just blossoms. Maybe that's why I'm seeing flowers. So how do you deal with this new information moving forward? I feel like with the Death card, you kind of have to allow it all to happen. But let's see. How do you deal with this new information going forward? Shine your light. Shine your light, my friends. With the World card, yeah, look at this. This person is the center of everything. And like, I see it as they're holding two paintbrushes. Or two wands. But like, they're working their magic and they're creating their art. They're creating their magic. They're doing their thing. And like, they're the center of everything, but like, they're being surrounded by like it's like I mentioned, I feel as though this is kind of everyone working together, and also like working with other people, finding contentment in what you're doing, and also just like shining your light, literally shining your light, being who you are, having a lot of joy, not holding yourself back, being vulnerable, letting this old cycle that has happened close out, because this is the end of something. But really, this is such beautiful energy. It's like there's this new wave coming in. I feel like where you have been hurt, you know, there's a lot to be learned. And where you are learning, it's like you're kind of discovering more about yourself, and you're coming out of this like murky, foggy water, you know? I'm just seeing you like blossoming into this kind of vibrant rainbow. Like, there to share your light and love and art, your art, because the Ace of Cups to me is an art. Like, this is an artist. So I really do feel as though there's a lot of creativity blossoming into your life, and as you discover that about yourself, or if you know this about yourself, the more you kind of tap back into it and kind of find your flow again and share yourself with the world. And again, not the stuff you think you need to create, it's literally the stuff that like you want to create. There's a big difference in that type of work. It's felt energetically, you know? So I feel like there's that. You have like the whole world in your hand of like opportunities, in terms of like what you're capable of doing. So it's really just about harnessing the energy and moving forward with it, and not allow, like, I feel as though you might have some fire in your chart, or you might just have the tendency to like do something, like feel very motivated, like burn yourself out, or you could just burn yourself out in general. So it's kind of about balancing that. I feel like with this Cups energy, it's kind of learning how to soothe your fire a little bit, and without completely smothering it. There's some sort of change here that happens with that, where it's like not, because I feel like with the Three of Swords there could be disappointment, and like maybe you've been doing creative endeavors and it's like not been working out for you, But it's like with the Three of Swords and the Four of Swords, you're taking a break, kind of reassessing. What's not being shown to you is like, if you just go down this more authentic path of taking off that mask, you have this ability to create this very whole and fulfilling creative like path for yourself with that's just, it's very like, it's just very fulfilling, and you get to shine your light. So yeah, and very supported during all of it too. So yeah, I hope this resonates for somebody. It's really, really lovely energy. You have the Three of Wands at the end, so I feel like you definitely have a lot of room for growth and expansion on this. It starts as kind of heavy energy and it ends kind of like my body's all warm, so I like that. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope this helps. I hope there's a message for you here. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, group number 4. If you chose the green tourmaline, this is your reading. Right off the bat, I'm feeling you guys could probably be healers. Maybe some of you read tarot. Definitely, I mean, I feel like some of you read tarot because I reached for my more esoteric deck, so you could be more esoteric. I don't usually do collective readings with this deck. I'm feeling like if you're not a healer, you've just been doing a lot of healing work. Your heart chakra is becoming very activated, or it is already very activated. I'm just feeling a lot of like this. You have a very calming, peaceful presence. I feel like group 1 did too, so maybe you came over from group 1. I was doing channelings for the other groups, so let me see what I can get for a channeling for you. Ooh, I just got like this burst of cold air, so some of you could do Reiki. If not, that's something that maybe like would interest you. I'm kind of getting the feeling that some of you are awakening to your healing abilities, to your gifts. It's like maybe you've been getting lots of signs that you are a healer, and you're like, really, me? I'm seeing a lotus. I better plug in my phone. Give me 1 second. Okay. There we go. Ah. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Let's see. Seeing a lotus. I'm also seeing symbols, like the symbols that you clash together. I'm also seeing a flute and a pan flute. Maybe you really like listening to like very whimsical music. I'm kind of getting forest fairy, forest elf vibes. Like I'm seeing a forest in my mind, like forest witch. That sort of, I'm seeing like really big trees too. Really, really big trees. I want to say evergreen. I'm still feeling that cold energy, so it could be like cold where you are. And maybe this is like a place that you go to. Maybe it's like your healing space. Maybe it's not even like a physical place. Maybe it's like when you meditate, this is like a sacred space that you kind of created in your mind, or like in your, you know, it's like just where you travel to. Okay. I can tell you guys are definitely more of the other realms, because I feel as though like when I tapped into this energy, I'm like, I'm up here. The other groups were very grounded. Even though this is like tourmaline, it's a very grounded stone. Like I do feel grounded, but I feel as though like there are some star seeds here. Definitely some star seeds here. Yeah. Like otherworldly energy. I feel like I'm on 6 planets. It's like really wild. All right. So let's see. What's the what situation are you in currently? Let's just look into that first. So the 7 of Wands. It's funny. The bottom of the deck. I feel like there's something that you are trying to communicate, or there's something that you're wanting to express. There's something that you're wanting to write or share or teach or rush towards. I'm literally seeing you like on a road running, trying to direct yourself towards this like object. So I feel as though there's something that you see on the horizon that you want, but it's like with the 7 of Wands, you have to overcome obstacles in order to get there. Or it's like there's some opposing force that is like, it's like the dream where you're running but like you're in molasses. So that could kind of feel like if something that's going on in your life right now, you could feel very much like, I want to go, but I just am being held back. This could have to do with like your healing practice, your job, your spirituality. Maybe you feel as though you're being opposed by people around you, where you want to like share your insights. Like maybe you are a starseed and you're having all these intense downloads, but it's like you have to pick and choose who you share that information with. Like not everyone deserves access to that information. With the 5 of Wands on the bottom as well, I could feel as though there's lots of, it's like wanting to be heard and people are just not hearing you. I feel as though that's like really how you're feeling right now. So what's the truth behind the situation? Adjustment, justice. There's some sort of, I mean, literally you could say adjustment needed. Justice to me is like very clear communication, and it's very just, like it's very, very much seeing things from a fair point of view, seeing things from with a very wide angle. You go from the Knight of Swords to the King of Swords. So you mature in some way. It's like there's a level of maturity that's needed, and then you see this like beam that's coming out. My allergies are really bad, sorry. I feel as though it's like learning how to take this spiritual information or this guided information that you're given and properly distribute it. It's like logically distributing it. The Justice card and the King of Swords is very logical and very, like, sees things from a very, like, I'm thinking of a hawk that is sitting on a line and, like, can see everything, or an eagle, like some sort of bird of prey that is, like, their eyes just see everything. Like, it's that sort of thing where you... when you see everything, you are able to perceive when to move forward or when to not. This goes into when to approach a conversation, when to, like when something is worth approaching. And I feel as though that's kind of like, the Seven of Wands to me can talk about like, there's drawing a boundary in the sand saying, this is what I believe in, this is what I stand for. And then there's the Five of Wands where you're trying to push your word on other people. And I feel as though there's this balance between those two energies with your situation. And with the Knight of Swords especially, there's somebody who's kind of like, listen to what I have to say, but being a little bit more forceful with their words and not as mature as like what they're meaning to be. So the truth of the situation is like, you have this ability to be more precise with what you're saying and really drive the point home that you're wanting to make. Or maybe it's that you already are like that. I feel like that might be more what I'm feeling. It's like it could be both. It could be a mixture for both people and the group of people watching. I don't know what I'm saying. There's like this energy of, maybe you feel as though you are having to put your voice out there and having to fight against this obstacle and having to like prove your point. But the reality is you're a lot more just and a lot more fair and logical, and you approach things much more mature than you think you are. That could also be how I see this. With the Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck also, it's like I see you being able to really, like, you're very balanced, and I feel like people probably see you as very balanced as well. So that could also be the case here, where it's like I feel like you are very balanced, honestly. That's like, most of you are healers, so it's like, I mean, I do feel a very strong group of healers here. I feel as though, yeah, that's what it is. I'm literally seeing somebody like sitting down and typing and writing a letter and sending it, and then once they send it, they're like, oh, that was like so, like, I shouldn't have written it like that. They're gonna think I'm being like really, like, you know, like it's overthinking what you think you sent. And then the person writes back and they're like, oh, thank you so much. And on the reality of it, like, that person got that email or that letter and they're like, wow, this person is so like well thought out, and like this was really like, they see you in a very positive light. They see you in like a place of power and maturity, and just able to like be warm but also kind of firm with the Queen of Wands there. Not somebody to be messed with, because I also feel like the Queen of Wands is someone who, like, if you piss them off, like, off with their head. You know, maybe that's also the Queen of Swords, but like, they're both kind of like that. So how does this affect you? So how does, like, I feel like when I was first tapping into your energy, I was tapping into what you feel like. So I feel like you I feel as though you think you need to become more mature. But the reality is, what you're not seeing is that you already are mature. And like, you have a king and queen. So the way I'm seeing it is like, how is this affecting you in your day-to-day life? Like, how is this affecting your life? Like, thinking that you need to be more mature, or thinking that you are being this like harsh, combative person, when in reality you're very like fair and people see you in this high light. So how does this affect you? Puts you in your head for sure. I'm gonna pull one more. I feel like it does two things. I feel like it puts you in your head where you like really overthink what you're thinking, because you have the Six of Swords here, and it's like your higher self is kind of watching you like, hello. And then on the other hand, I feel as though it kind of makes you do what you're afraid of doing and act kind of impulsively. But what you don't realize is, even though you are acting impulsively, you kind of spread this like, oh no, honey, there's a candle up here. You kind of like, you're spreading this very vibrant light around. So no, honey. She just woke up, so she has to let me know she just woke up. Yeah, I feel as though even though you are like acting somewhat impulsively, you're very spiritually guided, with this being the Eight of Wands. And it's like there's this net, right? And I'm seeing it as you connected to everything in the universe. Like I said, very, very otherworldly group here. I'm feeling as though like you have this ability to kind of reach out and like vibrate outwards. So even though sometimes it comes across kind of staticky or kind of like but it's still creating the desired effect is what I'm getting. You have strength at the bottom, which is also lust. So I feel like it gives you power in some way, like strength, and like you thinking that you need to, in some way it's like massaging a part of you that thinks you need constant healing. That's kind of what I'm feeling. But you don't need constant healing. Why has this been hidden from you? You have the Ace of Cups too. That's interesting. The last group got that too. And then Lust came out again. So that card just really wants to come out. That's the third time I've seen it. I feel as though, yeah, like I said, the Ace of Cups and Lust, I kind of feel as though you've been focused on other things, or it's like you've been focusing so much on the healing, like really working on like your heart. I feel like there's kind of this sense of like a little bit of immaturity here, but I'm seeing that web again. So I feel as though The imagery is fascinating. I'm really seeing this connection where it's been hidden from you in order for you to like expand your heart and learn how to harness that energy. That's what I'm seeing. Because it's like you feeling trapped in some way and needing to kind of, like, lust is the strength card, which is all about kind of like taming the ego. So I feel like there's been some sort of like, with the Seven of Wands and the Prince of Swords, there's been some sort of like, and the Five of Wands, there's been some sort of like ego thing going on. And I feel as though there's been some, like, that's why it's been hidden from you. Your ego has been hiding it. With the Ace of Cups, it's like, in some way, maybe your heart has been, like I said, you have a huge activated heart chakra, and maybe when it was closed off, it was like blocking the view, and now as it opens up and activates, you're able to see this about yourself, like with loving eyes. So how do you deal with this new information going forward? Two of Pentacles. I feel like there's this detachment from your like mental a little bit. Kind of, because like I'm seeing the yin and yang, the snake, like there's this balance, and then there's also this figure who cut off his head. So I'm kind of just feeling like moving forward, like taking steps forward, because it's a pentacle, it's like making actionable movement, but then also it's about finding balance in what you're doing without overthinking it. Pull one more card for how do you deal with this new information going forward. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Also, like detaching from the ego. And then you have the Six of Cups. So finding enjoyment and pleasure as well. And you have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords talks about walking away from authority in some way. So I feel like with all of these, it's like there's something inside of you that is there's some sort of belief that you need to be a certain way or show up a certain way, but like you're not, it's blocking you from seeing how you already are, or like your innateness. I feel as though there's a need to kind of dip into pleasure, because like the Ace of Cups, the Lust card, the Six of Cups, all very much like cups of pleasure. Even the Queen of Wands, like definitely, like I can even say the Eight of Wands. Cards where there's like pleasure explored. So I feel like there's something here about like this is affecting you in a way where you're all in your head and you're all business and no play. And there's something that's like you need to play a little bit more, find your like, maybe even like do some sex magic, or work, like just open up your sexuality a little bit, where it's like figuring out what you like more. I'm picking up, because my like, I don't know, there's some sort of energy here that's like very sexual, and it's like this that's not where I saw the reading going, but it is there. It's definitely present. So it's worth mentioning. I feel as though it's kind of like holding you back in some way. I feel like using your sacral chakra, it's like that whole using your sacral chakra in order to harness, like harness it and use it. Like a lot of creatives do. With the Seven of Swords, I feel as though that's you walking away from this like ego mind. I'm literally seeing, someone like losing their head. This group is definitely more of the stars. There's a lot of like star imagery, and this deck does have that, but like a lot of the cards I pulled have it. So I feel like definite star seeds are here. I feel like business owners are here too. Or people who have like higher learning, maybe like scientists, like in the science field. If you're not a healer, but you could be a healer in the science field. That's like, you know, I feel as though people who clicked onto this video, like you have this like very spiritual essence to you, but you also have this very you also have this very real, like very like scientific, it's like very practical and logical, like with the justice, the King of Swords, the Six of Swords. There's this, in the Knight of Swords, there's just this very like to the point, like wanting to understand everything, like wanting to know everything, wanting to be clear and logical, wanting to understand things from a logical point of view. Yeah, that's what I have for you. I hope this helps in some way. I hope you find it useful. And thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye.